The battle for gold between the two Red Bull drivers has tightened in the aftermath of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Sergio Perez won both the sprint race and the actual race, and he is now only 6 points behind two-time champion Max Verstappen. Team principal Christian Horner is now singing his praises for Perez, leaving many to wonder if the favoritism is shifting to the Mexican driver's favor. Stick around until the end of the video, because we'll also be talking about the argument that occurred between Verstappen and George Russell. And without further ado, let's get on with it. Perez has demonstrated a talent for triumphing on street circuits. In the recent Azerbaijan Grand Prix on Sunday, he became the first driver to win more than one edition of the race. Despite starting in third position, he quickly overtook pole sitter Leclerc and eventually took the lead after making a pit stop during the safety car period caused by Nick de Vries's stoppage. Meanwhile, his teammate Max Verstappen had made a pit stop just before the safety car was deployed. Horner commented on the phenomenal weekend Perez had, saying, "He's had a sensational weekend. He's always been outstanding at this track. I don't know what it is about Azerbaijan, but he absolutely excels there. He got a little lucky with the safety car today, but then he converted that, and he pulled a gap, and he had the pace, and he really controlled the race. So, phenomenal drive by him all weekend." It was the optimum time to stop from a performance point of view, but de Vries hasn't hit the wall there. The engine is still running, and to us, it looked like he was just going to reverse out and go from there, so we'd already committed to the stop. Of course, 2020 vision, 2020 hindsight's always going to say coulda, woulda, shoulda, but sometimes things like that just don't go your way, and Max's misfortune was Checo's good fortune. According to Horner, Verstappen, who is currently leading the championship, didn't appear to be as at ease as Perez during the weekend, which only included a single practice session before the qualifying round. He said, "What you've got to think as well, he was obviously leading the Grand Prix, then the incident happened. I think that he didn't seem quite as comfortable with the setup of his car as Checo did. He was obviously talking about the rear tyres already prior to that stop, and I think track position, when you're in the dirty air, there wasn't a lot of overtaking in that race, and that probably didn't help his tyres as well." As they head to Miami, the two Red Bull drivers have a narrow gap of only 6 points between them. Horner stated that the team's objective is to accumulate additional points before returning to Europe, where the teams are anticipated to unveil their first major upgrade packages of the season. I think we've got, 19 races, 5 more sprint races to go? There is a long, long way, and I think that we know that other teams will come with upgrades to Europe. So, we're just going to keep the hammer down, trying to get the results, and that was our 25th 1-2 finish as a team. Great to get those points early in the championship. Miami, different challenge, humid, hot, different surface. I think they've resurfaced part of the track there. Again, a track you can overtake at. We expect Ferrari to be strong there again, particularly on Saturday, and then we'll see how the tyres behave on the Sunday. But apparently, not everyone is as enthused about Perez's dominance in Baku. Following Sergio Perez's victory at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Red Bull was accused of violating F1 regulations when their mechanics celebrated on the pit wall. Sky Sports F1 presenters Karun Chandhok, Ted Kravitz and David Croft all emphasized that Red Bull had contravened the guidelines. This development occurred subsequent to FIA race director Niels Wittig's crackdown on celebrations prior to the Australian Grand Prix. The regulation was outlined in the International Sporting Code and was included in the pre-race event guidelines. The rule in question states, "It is forbidden for personnel to climb on pit wall debris fences at any time. Any action by a team breaching this ban will be reported to the stewards." The situation was further complicated by the presence of photographers near the entrance to the pit lane when Ocon entered. Although the pit wall rule was first implemented in 2006, teams frequently disregarded it in order to celebrate with their victorious driver. Nonetheless, Wittig has played a crucial role in reviving previous guidelines, as demonstrated by last year's prohibition on jewelry. Following the race, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner defended his team and maintained that no rules had been infringed. In an interview with Sky Sports F1, he said, "The regulations, I think, are quite clear, and it was something the team manager discussed with the mechanics before the race. All of them had their feet in contact with the concrete wall. I think you'll find they were where they should be." However, fans of rival teams wasted no time in urging race officials to penalise Red Bull for their significant blunder. Plenty of them took to social media, calling for the FIA to issue a punishment against Red Bull. In other news, Damon Hill speaks out on the events that transpired the day before the actual race in Baku. He exhibited little compassion for Max Verstappen following his collision with George Russell during the Azerbaijan sprint. Sergio Perez emerged victorious in the sprint race by outperforming Charles Leclerc, the pole-sitter. However, the primary point of contention during the session was the struggle for third place, with George Russell making a better start than Verstappen. Their initial lap skirmish unfolded over numerous corners, during which the Mercedes driver collided with Verstappen's side pod before ultimately overtaking him. Although the Dutchman managed to reclaim third place, he remained incensed about the incident. Despite having voiced his displeasure over the radio, Verstappen was evidently still agitated. Upon exiting his car, he waited for Russell in Parc Fermé, where he confronted him face to face and referred to the British driver as a dickhead in front of the media, who were able to capture the altercation. Upon reviewing the incident on Sky Sports, both Naomi Schiff and Damon Hill concurred with Russell's contention that he had every right to execute the forceful manoeuvre. Schiff said, "It's difficult, and you've got to see it from both sides. But as I said before, and as George said, Max has more to lose in that situation. He's on the outside, and he's closer to the wall. For him, having come into this weekend and saying he doesn't like the sprint format and it's not worth the risk, so why take the risk? Back out of it. Let George go. You know you're going to get past him anyway once the DRS is open, so why take the risk there?" Hill seemed to be in agreement, expressing his thoughts on the matter. "I can see that Max had the line, was slightly ahead, and was thinking to himself, I'm not going to yield, but I'm going to try to stay out of George's way. But George definitely couldn't turn the car hard enough. But it's racing. If he wanted to stay out of trouble, he should have got pole position. That's the best way to stay out of trouble. It's the default mindset of someone like Max, that they're always right. It was the same with Michael Schumacher and Ayrton Senna. Basically, they have to be the guys who don't make mistakes. Other people makes mistakes. I don't think George will feel bad about it at all. He absolutely went for it, and as Max's engineer said, they've got nothing to lose, so he should have taken that into account." The Verstappen-Russell incident certainly has everyone talking, and it has left the F1 world divided. But how about you? Whose side are you on? Tell us in the comment section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.